Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, the continuing violence in Afghanistan does raise continual questions about the value of Western intervention. Joining us now is the award-winning investigative journalist Seymour Hersh. He's revealed some of the most disturbing abuses of military and intelligence authority of our time. In 1969, he won the Pulitzer Prize for breaking the story of the My Lai massacre and its cover-up during the Vietnam War. In 2004, he exposed the US military's torture of prisoners in the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. His latest book, The Killing of Osama bin Laden, challenges the US government's narrative around the death of the al-Qaeda leader. One of its chapters focuses on US foreign policy. And what a bore that you've come in on a day when there's been an appalling atrocity in Kabul, because inevitably one has to look yet again at the question of Western intervention. People are thinking about it in Libya now again. The British in particular are thinking of going in with the French. What do you make of what has happened in this last quarter century? Because in many ways, this is a more dangerous era than the one in which you became so famous in Vietnam.
The Vietnam War, well, yes, 58,000 Americans were killed. It wasn't nearly as important as what's going on now. Well, you know, all you can say is what we've been involved in. We decided after 9/11, George Bush and Richard Cheney, that we were going to go after, make it an international war on terror. And we didn't prosecute bin Laden. We decided we were going to take on an idea. And you have to say, it's been 15 years, and how are we doing? How's it going? You know, are we doing okay? We've got Al-Qaeda and its sister organizations.
Well, what would the alternative have been?
Oh, you could do, you know, in Madrid, there was a terrible, the terrorists blew up a train station. 700 people died. No, we had 3,000 of them. But 700 is a lot. They prosecuted the people. They arrested them, put them away. Spain is not at war with the world. We decided we were going to go at war. And if you remember, the president said that anybody who supports anybody who has anything to do with that we consider supporting terrorism, or at least the idea, we're going to make them the enemy too. So we started something that we can't finish.
The whole position of American leadership in the West has in some way dissipated. I mean, America does not have the position it had at the time of the Vietnam War.
Well, when you run, it's been 15 years of a lot of killing, drone attacks, pretty constant aggression. And with a couple exceptions, Obama did the Iranian deal, which is a significant achievement, as I know you agree with. We were just talking about it earlier. It's very significant. It was the first sort of breakthrough in the whole Sunni Shia world we've created, a world of complete opposition and war.
But this just plays into your overall analysis, and that's why I described the fact that we've had this terrible atrocity in Kabul as a bore in its timing for bringing you in here. And you see, this is the difficulty. How do we bail ourselves out of this situation?
Well, all we do is get worse. It gets worse. It's now North Africa.
Well, you've got a presidential election coming on. Do you hear a candidate address this issue?
Bernie Sanders, who's almost as cranky and old as I am. He's actually got, even he will say, for example, we have to take the war to Bashar Assad. We really don't come to grips with the fact that maybe our basic policy, maybe we should just get the hell out of there and let everybody else just do it. Why are we in the West? I'm talking about our great allies, you guys too. Why are we the players? Why do we think we have to be anymore? I don't think we are.
But are we prepared to cede ground to the Russians? I mean, it looks as if America almost did a deal with the Russians to let them go in there and bomb their way through the ISIS.
I wish that were true, but I think the hostility to Russia is still very acute. What Russia did is they went into Syria and they did something we couldn't do. They brought the Syrian army back to life, and they've made it much harder for us to dislodge Bashar Assad, that was the original goal of the whole operation. Get him out. We're going to, we've got rid of other people we didn't like in Iraq. I think our policy still basically is he must go, which is crazy. It's not going to work.
One of the things that you see in the Western world is basically the fading of political leadership and the growth of financial leadership. Of leadership in the city, on Wall Street and the rest of it. Is that where the talent goes now? I mean, is that why we are faced, for example, with the choice of candidates you have in the United States at the moment?
I think it's one reason that Sanders is doing so well, this man who doesn't fit the mold, because he's talking exactly, he's making the same point you're making, that it's all about money. And money dominates, and we have senators who are elected who get elected because they can raise a great deal of money and don't have the integrity and the intelligence and the ability to project as the Senate that we knew when we were back, 30 years ago in Washington.
Seymour Hersh, I hoped you were going to cheer us up, but you haven't. But we're very grateful.
Little Mary Sunshine right here.
We're very grateful to you for coming in. Thanks very much.